Welcome to Tatsunari, Toad Rider. As far as your opening hand goes, yeah, we'll keep on this one. I mean, we could ship this back if we wanted to try to find some sort of card advantage piece or Enchantress card draw, but we've got the land drops, we've got Dryad, and we've got some spot removal, not spot removal, we've got massive spot removal and Toxic Deluge clearing the board out. But yes, we'll keep on this. There's nothing wrong with this opening hand. So let's go and lead off with Tropical Island. And I think at this point what we'll do is we'll just hold on to Seal of Removal, and then anything else we'll go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, with that Seal of Removal, and actually we should have led off with a Black Source, because that would have put us on Ancient Tomb and Tatsunari. Yeah, a little bit of a sequencing misplay on my part. Yeah, we could have gone Ancient Tomb with the Black Source and gotten down Tatsunari. So fortunately, a little bit of a misplay on that one, but hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. So we'll make it work. Let's get our commanders popped out just a little bit bigger so we can see them. See, look at the stars of the show. All right, so we're going to see Krinko onto the battlefield. And looks like we got some goblins. I'm very excited about that. Hopefully they overextend into a bunch of goblins if we can set up a Toxic Deluge. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So, all right, so run into Marsh Flats. And yeah, with Marsh Flats, either way, I mean, we could Ancient Tomb and get down Dryad. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. So let's go Ancient Tomb. Let's get down Dryad. That's going to be a 2/4. Get down Dryad, and then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Tatsunari, Toad Rider. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, if you don't control a creature named Kimi, create Kimi, a legendary 3/3 black and green frog creature token with. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Then for a 2-mana activation, Tatsunari and target frog you control can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with flying or reach, which is symbolizing, and I guess we just block. It's a 2/3, and we're a 2/4. But yeah, it's symbolizing Tatsunari and the frog jumping over the ground creatures. So that's why creatures with flying can get it. So I enjoyed that little design aspect of it. Playing against Grenzo, Havoc Razor. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose one, go target creature that player controls, or exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. You may spend manas or any mana color to cast that spell. And our opponent did get down an Outpost Siege. So they've got some good value stuff out there. For sure. Let's see. How do we want to set this up? We do have Seal of Removal that we can bounce Krinko back to the hand. And I think we might end up doing that. Okay, so let's go and drop in Woodland Cemetery. Because we can always Toxic for 3. I'd like to try to set up maybe something with Grenzo, if we can get that going. Or we do have the line of play to go for Grolnok. And that's going to be a 3/3. So if we end up going for Toxic right now, let's get rid of Krinko and the Goblin tokens. And Seal of Removal will essentially kind of do that. So I think what we end up doing on this is just getting down Seal of Removal. Yeah, I like this. And actually, oh, we set this out of order. My goodness, sorry. I am... And the bad thing about this morning is I have... This is like the 3rd game I'm recording. I'm sequencing this very poorly. I do apologize. Let's get down Tatsunari. We should have gone for Tatsunari and then gone for Seal of Removal. What happened in my head, I was thinking about getting down Grolnok, and that was going to be our entire mana base, and I just completely goofed that up. So let's go and get Marsh Flats down, and then anything else, we will pass the turn. So we're going to hold off right now because we at least want to be able to block on Krinko. We still have that Seal of Removal, and as far as timing that... whenever it attacks. Yeah, so we need to do that at the beginning of our combat step. So we're not going to swing in, and then anything else we will go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. Certainly appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders if you want to play Commander online. Let's give a quick shout out to ingaming.com/Jolt for 10% off of your order. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home on your Toad, as we cruise the streets of Kamigawa, it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. Don't lick your Toad either. Well, it might be kind of hard for you to keep score, but if you do, that's fine. I can't stop you. It's a free world. You can do what you want. But yes, it is... Carries expertise, gain control of target creature. Okay, untap it, it gains haste. We're going to go for the Seal of Removal on Grenzo. We're going to bounce that back to the hand. Because we don't want to get those extra goblins out there. And if they just gain control of Tatsunari for a 3/3, I think we're fine with that. I mean, I don't know what else. We can even conceivably block Dryad on Tatsunari if we need to do that. So that's going to be a 2/4 because that'll keep him out there. Imagine if you're a Dryad and you're like, all right, our commander's out there. And then all of a sudden you're blocking your own commander. Like, what's the deal? I think we let the 3 in because I want to whittle away at these goblin tokens, actually. So let's do that. So we're going to block on the goblin token. It's going to get rid of that goblin. It's going to bring Tatsunari back on our side at the end of the turn unless they have some sort of sacrifice outlet. And it looks like they don't. So let's go ahead and crack Marsh Flats. And we'll probably just go ahead and grab we'll grab Triumph. That's perfect. So that comes into play tapped. We get Tatsunari back, and now we're looking for an enchantment. All right, so we're looking at 2/4 and a 3/3. So let's go and drop in Grolnok. I think that's pretty good. So we'll drop in Grolnok. And we've got nothing else we need to do for the turn, so we'll just completely tap down for this. So let's get Grolnok onto the battlefield. And then that's going to be a mill option. Let's go ahead and drop in a Hinterland Harbor. And let's go and swing in. Let's have some fun, because Grenzo doesn't have haste, so we can do this. So it's going to be a 5. And unfortunately, we're going to miss out on the Grolnok trigger because we don't have that frog token out there. But at least getting it for 5 will take it. So we'll drop our opponent down to 35. And then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. Yeah, sorry about that sequencing. Sometimes when you're trying to deliver commentary and try to, make sure you're setting up a play for turn 2, it's just sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle on that one. So we should have a frog out here, but unfortunately we don't. So hopefully we find an enchantment pretty quick. We should. We've got, I think we've got like 50 enchantments in here. And so we should be hitting an enchantment sometime soon. So we'll see what else, see what we can run into as far as next turn goes. Now, if they do end up kind of dumping some more goblins out here, I do kind of like that. They are getting to the point to where Nykthos will at least kind of turn on for some devotion. They've got Outpost Siege and Valakut out there, so they've got a really nice mono red card draw engine going. And that's going to be Annex, Harden in the Forge. And that is simply just a 4/3. Which, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1 Satyr token. Okay. So see what those. They're just going to completely tap out. See if they swing in for the 1 with the Goblin. We've got Grolnok to block if we need to, but I think we're good. And at this point, what we can do is we can at least swing in Grolnok and kind of offer up the trade on their commander. I think we're cool. I'm not their commander, but Annex. I think we're cool with that. All right, so we run into Phyrexian Arena. So let's make the land drop. Let's go for Phyrexian Arena. That's going to be black, tapping down black. And that's going to get Kimi onto the battlefield finally. And that'll give us some much-needed card advantage, too. So let's go and drop that in. I still think we end up swinging in with Grolnok. I mean, Grolnok's not our commander, and if we end up losing Grolnok, it is a little bit of a bummer. But I kind of like that, because if we end up trading... Yeah, that's perfectly fine with what we've got going on. We could, really, we could almost kind of swing in with Tatsunari if we wanted to. Swing in with both of them. So let's make the land drop. That's going to be Forest. Yeah, I think we do that. I think we offer up the trade because we can always recast. We can actually recast Tatsunari if we want to. All right, so we're going to go and swing in. We've got 6 coming across. That's going to be Grolnok, mill 3 cards. See if we end up hitting anything off of that. The only downside is if we do hit something off of Grolnok and they block with Annex, that'll be... We won't be able to get those cards unless we have Grolnok on the battlefield. So we'll see what we can do about that. But let's get these 3 trigger tokens. Get these 3 triggers going. Get these exiles. And we've got some good stuff off of that Grolnok. We've got Eidolon of Blossoms. And look at that slime counter right there. I like that. All right, and then we also end up hitting Oath of Ancient Wood. And then that'll be a land drop. So we got 3/3 coming across. We'll see if they make that trade. Either way, we're pretty cool with it. And actually, if we just want to go for the block on this, we could do that. Because that'll still end up being Oath of Ancient Wood. Yeah, let's do that. They can't be blocked. So let's do Grolnok and let's do Tatsunari. Yeah, I like that activation because that still gives us Oath to be able to go for Oath of the Ancient Wood. All right, so we're swinging in for 6. Can't be blocked. We've got, even though Kimi can't swing in, we've got Grolnok swinging in. It's going to drop him down to 29. And we'll go to our second main phase. And let's go ahead. We can't get down Eidolon of Blossoms. Let's go for Oath of Ancient Wood. So it's going to be 1-2 off of Ancient Tomb. And then we'll tap down for green. And that's going to be a life drain on our opponent and a life gain for us. So that actually even it out, or kind of swap life totals almost. And then anything else. No, I think that should be it. So we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. So let's go and put a +1 counter. And I think at this point, I think we're cool putting it on Grolnok. So what we can do, with us having Toxic Deluge, if we can get a couple more counters with Oath of, yes, we definitely want to use that ability. If we can get a couple more counters going with Oath of Ancient Wood, that'll hopefully get us past the point of Toxic Deluge wiping our board state out. And so I kind of do like that. So hopefully we can make that work. But yeah, as far as Tatsunari goes, this is like a 50 enchantment deck. I didn't get the exact count of how many enchantments are in here, but there is a ton of enchantments in here. We are kind of sacrificing the normal mono blue, especially in Sidisi. We're sacrificing the card advantage of, you know, Brainstorm, Ponder, different things like that. We are kind of leaning more into the Enchantress card draw package in here. And same thing with the ramp. So we're actually not running a lot of ramp in here. One thing that we are doing is running a lot of the land auras that we can put on some of our lands to tap down for extra mana. And so as far as hitting that 50 enchantment count, that's pretty much how we're doing it. You know, we're sacrificing a lot of the normal stuff in our enchantments, and it just makes for a really, you know, we don't have a loop in here with Kimi to where we're going to keep going for a, you know, casting an enchantment and keep draining their life total, but we do have stuff like Whip Silk, and what's the other one? It is Shimmering Wings, and these are enchantments that are Shimmering Wings is blue, and then Whip Silk is green. And they both have an activated ability of either green or blue to return to your hand. So basically for 2 mana, like let's say we draw into one of those for next turn. So for 2 mana, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we hit the land drop, that'll be 7, 8. So for basically, with those style auras and in a deck like this, it allows you to where if you just don't have a lot of stuff going, different things that you can do, it allows you to kind of slowly start draining your opponent's life total. So let's get this Phyrexian Arena trigger going. It's going to be Doomwake Giant, and we run into Heroic Intervention, which I absolutely love. Okay, so let's get the land from Grolnok, and we're going to pay 2 on this one. Let's go for Eidolon of Blossoms. It's going to be double green. And the good thing about Eidolon of Blossoms is it's going to give us an additional card draw. And once we get the extra trigger onto Tatsunari, yeah, I like this. So let's get that onto Tatsunari. And that gives us the option to end up going for Toxic Deluge, because that's going to wipe them out. I mean, that still gives them some tokens out there. So let's get this card advantage. It's going to be Eidolon of Blossoms, and that's going to be Destiny Spinner that we draw into. Now, if we end up going for Doomwake Giant, I think we can set up Doomwake Giant for next turn. So let's go Toxic for 3. And that's going to get rid of, unfortunately, it's going to get rid of Eidolon of Blossoms, but I really like getting rid of the entire board. Let's take a double check at the tokens of 1/1 Satyr. Yeah, I like that. So we're going to go Toxic on this one. We could swing in first to kind of offer some trades up, but I just want to get in there because we do have, well, we can set it up with Heroic Intervention. Yeah, let's do that. Let's kind of leave up a Heroic Intervention. I like that. So let's go and swing in, and we'll see how they decide to block on this one. And we will get the mill option off of Grolnok, and also get another one off of Kimi. So look at this. All right, so let's get the mill going off of Grolnok. And this is what makes this deck so much fun, is that even if we don't, it looks like we're doing it in a pretty good position to hopefully close the game out. But if we don't, this is some fun commander right here. So we're going to get the Grolnok mill. And then let's go and always yield to that trigger and always yield to the Grolnok trigger. And we'll see what we hit. So we end up hitting a Sanctum Weaver, Temple of Malady, and another land. And that's going to be another mill. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. Yeah, we can definitely rebuild off of this. All right. All right, so we got the entire crew swinging in. If they want to block on this one, they can. If not, we're still going to end up going for Toxic Deluge because we got just enough for Heroic Intervention and being able to tack down for Toxic Deluge. So see how they decide to block. That's going to be Annex on Grolnok. We got 1 on Tatsunari. And we're going to go for Heroic Intervention. And they are tapped out, so we don't have to worry about any sort of spot removal. Okay, so it's going to keep Grolnok on the battlefield, because we actually do want a lot of this stuff that we've got underneath Grolnok. And then we ended up going Toxic for 2, and I think that... So let's make the land drop. It's going to be Wooded Foothills, and that's all the... I think that should... It's indestructible. Yeah, so that still should end up working with Toxic Deluge. So let's go and tap down. And we're going to pay 2 life on this one. So unfortunately, we're going to miss out on Eidolon of Blossoms, but this should work out for us. That should clear the board out, keep our creatures out there, and then we get to our end step, and then that should be it. So we still have some good stuff in the hand. We did end up hitting, and we're going to take a look at this in just a second. So we did end up hitting Temple of Mount. We did hit Sanctum Weaver, so that's another enchantment. We got Blightcaster, which is also a really good thing. And we did hit another Enchantress card draw piece. So we've got a lot of good stuff that we can go for next turn. If we do end up going for Blightcaster, that will be a creature that we get on the battlefield. And then we've got at least Sanctum Weaver and Destiny Spinner as ways to really kind of to, just clean up whatever they try to get out there as far as creatures go. So let's see what they deploy. Oh, that's going to be Blasphemous Act. Okay. Should have saved that Heroic Intervention, but that's what happened. So we're going to return Tatsunari back to the command zone. Either way, with Doomwake Giant, we're still in a good spot once we get this down. Even if they do deploy some sort of creatures out there, Doomwake Giant's really going to be able to, in a deck of 1/1 goblins, Doomwake Giant is definitely not their friend. So we'll see what they deploy out. But either way, we're almost looking at a Doomwake Giant next turn. It's going to clean that out, and so we'll be in a really good spot, and especially the card advantage from Phyrexian Arena, so we will certainly take it. So let's see what we draw into for the turn. All right, so we get the Phyrexian Arena. We're going to draw an additional card. That's going to be Windswept Heath, and then that's Animate Dead. So let's go ahead and drop in Windswept Heath. And if we end up going for Animate Dead, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 total mana. I do want to deal with Grenzo. So let's get Doomwake Giant onto the battlefield. All right, so we get Doomwake Giant onto the battlefield. Let's get the +1 counter onto Doomwake, and then get the -1/-1. That's going to make it a 5/7. Let's go ahead and go for Animate Dead on Eidolon of Blossoms. Well, actually, we can in our Exile Zone. Let's go Animate Dead on Grolnok. And let's get these triggers back out there. And we're getting the Oath of the Ancient Wood. Yes, onto Doomwake. I'm digging this. All right, so they're going to get -1/-1. It's going to clean up Grenzo. It's going to bring Eidolon of Blossoms back onto the battlefield. Excuse me, Grolnok. And that gives us access back to our Exile Zone. All right, so let's go ahead and go for a Grothian Enchantress. And they've got 3 cards in the hand, and I really don't mind extending back into this board state again. If they've got another board wipe, so be it, but we're going to get some card advantage going. So we're going to get the Grothian Enchantress line of play. Ancestral Mask, that is a very good draw. And then we'll get Destiny Spinner coming down. We'll get the Doomwake trigger, but there's nothing out there. Let's go and put the +1 counter onto Grolnok. That's going to make it a 3/4. And then anything else, yes, we'll definitely use that ability. And then anything else, we were going to pass the turn over to our opponent. So can't swing in. We've redeveloped our board state after that Blasphemous Act, and we'll see what they can follow up with. But I do like what we've got going on as far as card advantage. And we got Phyrexian Arena. We got a Grothian Enchantress. We got Ancestral Mask for next turn. That's going to allow us to go +2/+2. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking at +10/+10 off of Ancestral Mask. So that's going to be pretty good. And they are down to 22, and we are at 21. So, but yeah, this is what we're doing with Tatsunari, is just having some fun. This is having these interactions work out with stuff like Doomwake Giant, being able to bring Animate Dead off Grolnok to bring it back to get our Exile Zone is a very nice feeling. Because even next turn, we've got Greater Good. So with Doomwake Giant, we keep pumping the Oath of the Ancient Wood triggers onto Doomwake Giant. If something happens, we get down Greater Good. We can sacrifice in response to that. So that's one of the fun things about this Sultai Enchantress is, I don't know, there's just a lot of fun. It's an Enchantress that, having played a lot of Enchantress decks in the past, playing Sultai Enchantress, that kind of has this weird little tempo play / just, snowball value engine. Because that's one of the downsides to playing Enchantress, is you kind of have this snowballing value engine, to where the snowball kind of starts out really small, it's rolling down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, it's a humongous snowball rolling down a mountain. And so that's kind of what Enchantress is where you're just getting a ton of card advantage. Opponent's going to go for Harness by Force. On Doomwake Giant, do they have an enchant? See if they got an enchantment. They've got at least 2 artifacts they can go for and 3 cards in the hand. But they could definitely get rid of our Engrothian Enchantress. But yeah, one of the fun things about Enchantress is it's just kind of like this snowball value effect. As you start getting more and more Enchantress pieces out there, as you start getting more and more card advantage, you just end up building this thriving board state that's really hard to deal with. And to play that in Sultai, it's a lot of fun. We do have some other couple options for next turn. We've got Destiny Spinner. If they want to swing in for a 6/8, go for it. That's fine. We don't have Mana Crypt out there, so we are good. So it's going to drop us down to 15. But with Destiny Spinner, for that 4 mana activation, target land you control becomes an XX elemental creature token with trample and haste. And what was that? What just happened? They played High Market and they sacrificed Doomwake Giant. All right, so that was a good play. But yes, with Destiny Spinner, 4 mana activation, turn a land into an enchantment, where X is the number of enchantments that you control. So basically, you can turn it into a 4/4 creature. If you've never played with Destiny Spinner, this is one of my favorite Enchantress pieces. It's not like the best one out there, but there's a lot of times to where if you've been making your land drops and you've been doing a lot of things, you know, you just got extra mana and not much to do, and just having a 4 mana. All right, you're a 4/4 now. You're a 5/5 now. Whatever that may be, it kind of creates a gives you some extra things to do or to hopefully close the game out. So, all right, so we get the Phyrexian Arena, and then we draw into Bloodstained Mire. So let's make the land drop off of Bloodstained Mire first, because that comes into play untapped. And how do we set this up? So we've got Greater Good, Sanctum Weavers for 2. We want to get as many enchantments on the battlefield as possible. They're completely tapped out, so we've got a free attack on this. So let's get this started. So let's go Ancestral Mask on Grolnok. So it's going to be an extra card draw off of a Grothian Enchantress, because that's going to be our biggest way to generate as much power and toughness as possible with Ancestral Mask. All right. So that's going to be Oath of the Ancient Wood. Yeah, let's get it on there. Let's get that counter on there. Okay, that's going to make it a 15/15. Yes, we definitely want to use that ability. And then all they have is Shrine up right now, so I think we've got this. So let's go Sanctum Weaver. That's going to be, and actually we end up going for Grim Guardian. That's going to be 1/2 off of Ancient Tomb, tap down for black. That should be enough. All right, it's going to be an extra card draw off of a Grothian Enchantress. And we draw into Worldly Tutor. All right, so let's get the Grim Guardian trigger on the stack. We'll get Oath of the Ancient Wood. And we're going to put that counter onto Destiny Spinner, just in case something weird happens. And that is actually going to be, it's going to be almost just enough. All right, so we're going to lose 1 life. Let's drop in Sanctum Weaver. And then let's go ahead. Do we want to Worldly Tutor for a small enchantment? I think that'll work out. So let's go ahead and Worldly Tutor. And we'll just grab Courser of Kruphix. So we'll put that on top. So we draw into Courser of Kruphix. That's going to be Sanctum Weaver entering the battlefield. And get that life drain, get Oath of the Ancient Wood, put that on the Destiny Spinner. Oh, look at this. Look at Oath of the Ancient Wood. Yes, we'll definitely use that ability. So that's going to be 24, and that will be 1 more life draw, life lost from our opponent. Let's go Devil Green. We're just trying to make sure there's no funny business, Lebowski, on this. We're not trying to overplay into our opponent. We just want to get as many triggers as possible. So we're going to get Courser of Kruphix. That's going to be Grim Guardian, Oath of the Ancient Wood trigger onto Sanctum Weaver. That'll be 1 more. Yes, definitely use that ability. And then, all right, I think that's it. Let's go and go to the combat stab. That should be 27 coming across. And yeah, this is what we're trying to do with Tatsunari. You know, I had some kind of weird early sequencing in the beginning of the game, but you can see where, thankfully, it was forgiving. We were able to build up a really nice board state, especially with stuff like Phyrexian Arena. And all right, opponent's going to create a goat token. Oh yeah, they can make a goat token. That's right. I knew I should look closer at trading posts. Forgot about that. Okay, so that's going to be the goat token. That'll be some extra meal off of those, so we'll still be in a good spot. Yeah, I forgot about the goat token from Trading Post. We should have taken a look at that. All right, so I'm going to stop the 22. That's going to drop them down to 14. And then we've already made the land drop. We've got everything else that we need to go for. Anything else, yes, we will pass the turn. Even if we set up a Blightcaster, they still have that activation to go for. So we'll see what they can assemble. They've got some good advantage in Outpost Siege and their draw step. Probably about the only thing we don't want to see. Okay, good. I was thinking that High Market was gain life, sacrifice it, gain life equal to its power. So that was a little bit of a bummer on that, but it's only just 1 life. So even if they gain control of Grolnok, We still got blockers for it, so. But we will definitely keep the trading post. All right, excuse me. They're gonna have red elemental blast, so it's gonna get rid of Grolnok. So we do have to sacrifice it, but that doesn't matter. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that exile zone. And with them being at 14, we can go for Enchantress Presence next turn, and then that'll hopefully allow us to get some extra card advantage and really kind of power out our enchantments. So we'll see what else they can assemble. Because yeah, with trading posts out there, they can always end up getting that goat down, or they can discard a card and gain 4 life. I think that's what it was on trading posts. I was thinking about discard a card, they gain 4 life. We're going to be able to dodge that 4 life with that. But yeah, because that's the only thing I saw right there. And then if you click on it, which I should have done, create a goat token. All right, so we'll see what they can assemble this turn, and we'll see what we draw into. Okay, and it looks like they're going to simply just pass the turn. So what they do have is they've got some options. They've only got 3 cards in the hand. They've got a kobold token that they can create. They've got a goat token that they can create. And they're sitting at 14. So we have 6 enchantments. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can at least power up about 2 or 3 enchantment creatures. So we'll see. All right, so we get a land on top. Let's go for land drop off the top. That's going to be Wanderer. Let's go and always yield to this trigger. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to go ahead and kind of crack some of these fetch lands. Our opponent's going to go for Urborg, so we're going to add black mana in response to that. All right, so we get a forest onto the battlefield. Let's go and always yield to this Course of Krufix trigger. And what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be popping these Wooded Foothills until we maybe just run into enchantment that we want. So let's go and crack Wooded Foothills. All right, this is going to be Aqueous Form. Can't be blocked. All right, so this is going to be very good. So let's go and change his presence. We're going to draw into Aqueous Form. We're going to get the Grim Guardian triggers, get Oath of the Ancient Wood, and we're going to spread these out. Let's go and add that onto Grim Guardian. And what we can do is we can try to make a beater with Destiny Spinner if we wanted to. I mean, because they've got 2 tokens that they can block on. So we're going to put that counter. Let's spread this out just a little bit. Let's put it onto Grim Guardian. And I think if we end up just going Destiny Spinner, so we add a bunch of green mana. Yeah, let's try that. So we tap down Sanctum Weaver. Let's go Destiny Spinner on Bloodstained Mire. So that is a land. Let's go and turn Tropical Island into a land. And then we're going to go ahead and go Aqueous Form on Tropical Island. Actually, we'll go Aqueous Form on Destiny Spinner. So we'll get that card advantage. Let's go and put a +1 counter. All right, so we have Destiny Spinner is unblockable. Let's go and go for 1 more land off of Destiny Spinner. Okay, so we turned that last land into a 7/7. I was basically just trying to make as many creatures as possible to swing in past that. So they've got a token off of Care Keep, they've got a token off of Trading Post, or potentially Life Gain. But once we kind of get these land creatures going with the 7/7s, we're going to be able to close it out. So sorry for the sloppy play on that. This is like the 3rd game of the day I'm playing, so I don't really know why I kind of missed some of those sequencing things other than delivering commentary and trying to sequence the game perfectly. It's just always difficult. But thankfully, we're able to close the game out, really showcase Destiny Spinner, getting those lands turning into 7/7s. And we got old Grolnok up to like 20-something power and toughness. But anyway, that's what we're looking for in a Tatsunari deck or gameplay experience. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.